We live in a society in which people make up their minds about another person having barely seen them. That is, they judge them by their appearance, by their manner of speaking, or by their social position. Many of us do this without thinking that it can hurt the feelings of another person, but sometimes we can really regret it because it is never known what will happen in the future. Today's story started in the 80s. One family celebrated the birth of their son named Johnny. Everyone was happy, but unfortunately, after a few months, the family suffered from a terrible earthquake, and only a few of them managed to survive. Among the survivors was Johnny. Rescuers were looking for his parents, but they did not manage to find him, and the boy's parents were soon declared dead. He never heard anything about them again. His uncle and aunt could not take care of the child, so he was sent to an orphanage. Fortunately, he did not stay there for long. A wealthy family from another country adopted Johnny. Johnny grew up in a luxurious house full of maids, expensive clothes, and gourmet food. His life was happy. From childhood, he had everything that he wanted. He did not need anything, and his new parents never hid his origin from him, saying that the boy's biological parents were from another country and they died in an earthquake. They even gave him a medallion, which rescuers found next to the boy, taking him from the rubble. Johnny showed respect for his parents and always wore this medallion, which had belonged to him since childhood. It seemed that the second part of it was lost in the earthquake. Johnny was a very smart boy, but he, like any other person, had a negative feature. From childhood, he was quite selfish and envious. He never shared his toys and treated children from poor families badly, and he often scoffed at the beggars when he met them in the street. He said that he could not bear them and hated them because they did not bring any benefit to society. When he graduated from university at the age of 26, he decided to go on vacation with his girlfriend to the country in which he was born. He bought first-class tickets and went home. When he arrived there, a limousine was waiting for him, but very soon he realized that this place was not at all what he imagined it to be. There was chaos all around. The streets were full of beggars and garbage. There were so many poor people that he could not have imagined it. Almost a week passed, and he decided to go for a walk along the street on which his parents once lived. Suddenly, in the distance, he saw a beggar in dirty, tattered clothes. He wanted to cross the road just so as not to meet this man, but there were so many cars that it was impossible to go another way, and he had no choice but to go past the beggar. The moment he was passing him, he looked at his hands, and goosebumps ran through his body. The man had on his wrist the missing piece of Johnny's medallion. He was in shock. He could not believe his eyes. He went to the beggar and asked, "Is this your medallion? Where did you find it?" The old man answered him that this thing belonged to his son, who had disappeared during the earthquake. Johnny could not believe what he had heard. It was too unbelievable to be true. He did not know whether to cry or laugh because his real father was standing in front of him. They went to the nearest clinic where he asked to do an express DNA test. What he learned there changed his life forever. This beggar in dirty clothes was his real father, who, as it turned out, also survived the earthquake. Johnny was bewildered. How could it be that the beggar, one of those whom he had always hated, was his father? At this moment, learning this tragic truth, he decided not to tell him anything, leave the old man in the same place where he was, and continue thinking that his parents were dead. He gave the beggar a few coins and returned to the country in which he grew up. But his life turned into hell. He could not understand what was going on. He was furious that fate had shown him that his own flesh and blood was a beggar. But a few months later, Johnny could not stand it. Feelings awoke in him, and he wanted to see his father again and hug him tightly. He returned to his native country, and this time he came alone. Having arrived, he went to the street on which he had seen his father the last time. He could not find him, and he began to ask the local people if anyone had seen the old man, and one of them told Johnny that he already left this world a long time ago. He had died 2 months ago. "How did it happen? This cannot be!" Johnny cried. The man continued, "He met some stranger who took him to the hospital, and when he tried to return, he was hit by a car." Hearing this, Johnny could not hold back his tears and ran away from that place crying. He could only say, "Forgive me, Father, I am so sorry." Johnny is still suffering from the fact that he could not hug and kiss his father. He did not want to do it at the moment because of shame. Now it is too late for him. I hope this video has given you some food for thought. Share the video with your friends and family and like it. Bye.